Parramatta Stadium is the venue for this round 22 clash in the Telstra Premiership. It's the Parramatta Eels taking on the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Let's take a look at both sides. For the Parramatta Eels, they've lost two of their big guns in the front rowers, Nathan Kalis and Michael Vella, who are out with leg injuries. Their place is taken by Trent Robinson and Ian Hindmarsh, who moves up into the front row. Daniel Wagon comes up into the second row with Michael Butner off the bench and into the lock forward position. The bench now is Witters, Ryan, Heckenberg and McFadden. The coach is Brian Smith. For the South Sydney Rabbitohs, their side is the same as the one that was named earlier in the week. This week, Brad Watts is the fullback. Nathan Di Bartolo gets his chance at halfback. The forward pack is Pulatua, Deeth, Stringer, Hart, Stewart and Rigon. And the coach is Craig Coleman. Shane Hayne is the referee. Standing by, the Rabbitohs in their white strip will defend the southern end of Parramatta Stadium in this first half. Shane Hayne blows time on. It will be Olzard who gets us underway. Kicks it off down to Drew. Be brought back out by the Eels towards their own 20-metre line. That's where Ian Hindmarsh will play it. Wagon now takes it up. The Rabbitohs up quickly off their line. Frank Pulatura was racing up to put the hit on. Irvine goes across the face of them and give it to Trent Robinson, his former Tiger and Rooster, playing in his first-grade game for the Eels tonight. Irvine comes back to the right-hand side. Drew puts the kick in. Not a bad one either. Looking to get it over the head of Brad Watts, who was the halfback last week. But they like him more as a fullback at the Rabbitohs, and we'll see how he performs in the role tonight.
And certainly a different start to what we've seen over the past few weeks from the Parramatta side. Just going one out in the middle of the park, looking to gain or get over the advantage line. I suppose with the injuries to the front rowers, it's a big job tonight for the likes of Robinson.
Here's deep from dummy half. Want to find a small gap in between Wagon and also Butner. Tonight playing in that lock forward role, have plenty of tackling to do. The kick wasn't perhaps a deep one, but even though it might have been off the side of the boot, will find the line. So not a bad start for Di Bartolo. Perhaps a little nervous at the moment in this playmaking role. The number 7 on his back tonight.
And don't be surprised to see the Parramatta forwards look to head over that advantage line at every opportunity, try and reduce their mistake rate, because they've got the highest number of mistakes in the NRL competition this season.
It certainly is a vastly different side to the team that went all the way to the grand final last year. Here's Custo. Gives it off to Violecki, who makes his return tonight. They were hoping he was going to be back in the fold last week against the Eagles, but he failed a last-minute fitness test. Butner will play it back to Luke Bird, another returning player for the Eels tonight. They still have so many of them on the sideline watching on tonight, including the players who are listed to be in the front row, both Kalis and Vella, missing in action tonight. Here's Irvine. Gives it to Drew, who drives it low this time into the corner, away from Watts, who's possessed with plenty of speed, as is this man, Wade McKinnon, who has moved to the right wing tonight with Watts going back to the fullback role. Here's Olzard. They've said he's the best player in First Division in recent times for the Bunnies, as Andrew Ryan, who'll be a Bulldog next year, watches on from the Eels bench. Certainly runs the ball hard, does John Olzard. Here's Deeth now, giving it off to Stewart, who tries to back his way up towards the 40-metre line. A couple of tackles left in this set of 6 for them. They go back to the right-hand side. Craigie. Players outside him, but took the tackle. On the last, it will come to Di Bartolo once again. Puts plenty of leather on this one. Hodgson, though, took it on the full inside his own 20. He brings it back up towards the 30-metre line.
And safety-first football is obvious when teams are under pressure. And it is a really high-pressure game for both teams. Parramatta for semi-final contentions, and the wooden spoon, well, that's at the forefront as far as the South players are concerned.
Butner has it on his own side of halfway. He'll play it back to Irvine. Here's Drew. Wagon cutting back on the inside. Or rather, Ian Hindmarsh it was. And now Custo comes the first receiver. Took a little step on, but they were waiting for him. Stringer and Deef combining well in defence. I'll kick it here on the last tackle once again. Drew. It's a grubber this time. We've seen a little bit of everything from him. A high deep one, a low deep one, and now a grubber, which was fielded on the 30-metre line by Watson, or McKinnon rather. He plays it there. Here's Olzard again. Hits the line, plenty of momentum. A goal kicker as well. We'll see if he takes the shots at goal to start the game, or whether Owen Craigie has that on it. If in fact they do get a shot early in the game. Deep. They wrap it around to the blind side. Andrew Hart, the Rabbitohs captain now, with Adam Muir out of the side, of course. Rescinded his decision to retire earlier in the week as Stringer takes it up towards the Eels 40. Di Bartolo again with the kick, a wobbly one which landed over the head of Hodgson. They stopped him, or eventually have stopped him inside his own 20. A game very much played between the 20-metre lines of both teams so far. No mistakes to speak of as Peterson is wrapped up. Former Cowboy plays it back to Moody, another returning from the sidelines tonight after being out for suspension. Irvine waits for it. Just to play the ball from Drew. Here's Nathan Hindmarsh. You hear the urgency in the Rabbitohs defensive line as he gets the ball for the first time down that side. Real danger player if ever there was one for the Rabbitohs tonight. Here's Irvine going from dummy half. Scampered for a gain of about 15 metres. He'll play it on the last. Again, it's Custo this time off the outside of the left boot. And it will bounce up for Watts. Hit solidly to tackle by Irvine there with the help of Trent Robinson. Here's Olzard again, taking a hit up, and he might have been followed high here. In fact, he was.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leo slipped up, you got him high. You got a blood bin too. You got a blood bin there, you're bleeding from the neck, okay? Yep. No, it was here and slipped up, okay?
Well, I think he was right, Trent Robinson. It did hit him on the chest and then slipped up around the neck area. The referee seemed fit to award a penalty. Just lets the Rabbitohs off the hook. Junior mentioned earlier, both teams have been very conservative to start this game.
Well, the Rabbitohs get the first chance. It's taken some 6.5 minutes almost to get something going. Here's another penalty to them.
No, Daniel. Not even watching, mate.
Ball was raked out. And the Rabbitohs again will find the line through Brad Watts. They'll have a great chance here to put some real pressure on this Eels line now.
Bring it back.
And they'll tap it through deep, just inside the 20. Craigie gives it on to Stringer. And it comes away to Luke Stewart. Just outside the 10 when he plays it. Deep comes to Di Bartolo. Turns the ball back on the inside for Andrew Hart, who pops a lovely ball to Pulatua. He wants one out the back as well. It comes to Di Bartolo. Here's Deep from dummy half. We'll just take a settle up. They weren't quite ready to the right-hand side. Now they're set. Watts gets the dummy half. Comes to Craigie. He gives it on for Luke Stewart, who runs into both Ian Hindmarsh and also Custo there on the fringe. Watts again a dummy half. Stringer showing it, going himself. Will play it after 5 tackles. Hinson gives it to Craigie. Grubbers picked up and snaffled there by the Eels. Terrific work by Wagon.
Oh, tremendous work there by Daniel Wagon on his line, picking up the grubber kick. As Peterson throws a speculator.
Towed forward, but it will be
First one cuts here.
a knock on.
He played at the ball. Okay, played at the ball. Scrum in here. Come off the South players in, he played at the ball.
There will be a knock on against the Rabbitohs. You could see McKinnon there with his hands in around the pass where Peterson was looking to continue it on. It was going to be a very adventurous pass in its own right. Luckily for the Eels, they've come up with possession.
And luckily for South too, that they got a hand to it because Peterson was away. There was no one on that left side wing.
At the back.
A couple of players looming up in support. Might have been a long way down the field. Here's Biolecki. Gross going in the centres tonight. Inside Olzard on this left-hand side for the Rabbitohs. As a fair match-up tonight with Biolecki opposite him. Wagon now. Just inside the Eels 30. Yet to put any real pressure on the Rabbitohs themselves. And they had a tackle inside their 20 as yet. Here's Hindmarsh trying to force a pass out to Peterson. He's put it down. The Rabbitohs will get it in good position here. In the last two Eels 40.
Sorry, Warren, the last two times that the Parramatta side have had the football, they're just trying to force the pass. They haven't won a game in a number of weeks. Their confidence level is down. Probably would be better off just looking to get completions, good field position, get into a kick, and try and put the pressure back on the Rabbitohs. And Laurie, what South are doing is they're jamming their defensive line up as well, tempting the Parramatta side to go around them and trying to force errors that way.
Deep, turning a ball back on the inside for Stringer. There's been tremendous workhorse for them all season. He'll play it to Deep. Here's Di Bartolo showing it. Took a tackle at the line, which was made by Ian Hindmarsh to stop him. Now Craigie putting the grubber in, but it's too big. That has been a real noose around the neck of the Rabbitohs this season. Their kicking game at times has been the worst in the league. They just fail to get repeat sets of 6 in that situation, and once again an easy turnover to the Eels.
Yeah, you certainly need a result when you're down that end of the football field. And that time there, Craigie just putting too much on the kick. I think he would be better off served just staying on the right-hand side, trying his luck up against Brad Drew. There's a lot of space out there. The Parramatta side are condensed on their line. And if the Rabbitohs can get a bit of width in their attack and maybe Craigie take on Drew, they might have a little bit of success.
Ian Hindmarsh takes it up towards the halfway line. They've spent 4 tackles getting to this point. They've had a real job in front of them as far as making inroads through the forward pack so far in the game. Here's Watstow coming across to clean up the grubber. The Rabbitohs have done well again in that the metres that the Eels can bring it back and then come up with a good return off the kick. And here's Olzard playing it. They take it across the 40-metre line. McKinnon.
It was the right idea there from Custo to put the little kick in behind the line, because Brad Watts at fullback is defending very, very deep. There's a lot of space in behind the line.
Bring on from dummy half. Wants to get his hands dirty and will take it up from that position a number of times tonight. Deep. We'll give it to Di Bartolo. Puts a kick in behind Peterson, but Hodgson coming across. Read the play very nicely. They have it just outside their 20. We've had just over 11 minutes here at Parramatta. No score between the Eels and the Rabbitohs. A very composed start by the visitors.
And it really is like a game of chess, the early parts of this game, because both sides are looking to just hit the ball up, play safety first football. Unfortunately for Parramatta, they've been tempted to throwing the ball wide on a couple of occasions and come up with a couple of errors. But basically both sides are content to keep it tight, try and ease themselves into the game, build a bit of confidence.
Here's Michael Butner playing it at their 40 as Irvine looks to get a roll on from dummy half. The banana kick off the outside of the boot will find the line. And it will be the Rabbitohs who have the loosened feed about 15 out from their own goal line.
Good little kick there by Daniel Irvine out of dummy half. The banana kick, as you mentioned, Warren. The Parramatta side, they do look good when they get out of dummy half off quick play the balls. They've got some dangerous runners. Irvine does a good job. Drew can slot in there. Then they've got likes of Hindmarsh and Wagon. Very dangerous around that play the ball area, the Parramatta side.
Robinson is back out there after having that chin attended to, which blood pouring from it after the high tackle on Olzard earlier in the game. Gross it is, who takes it from the scrum for the Rabbitohs. Here's Watts, the fullback, who's played a number of positions for the Rabbitohs this season. Stewart now, 15 short of the halfway line. The Rabbitohs are the best attacking chance in the game so far. They got a couple of back-to-back penalties to take them inside the Eels 20. Apart from that, the game has been played in this area of the field. Pulatua had himself a spot in the starting front row in the last few weeks for the Rabbitohs. Di Bartolo has the kick charged down by that man, Nathan Hindmarsh. And luckily for the Rabbitohs, it went well to the sideline and it landed at his feet. He would pick it up and race away to score. The Eels finally get a chance to go deep on the attack. Here's Peterson.
Yeah, Nathan Hindmarsh has tried that same thing on 3 or 4 occasions so far in this game. On that occasion, it paid off, almost with a try.
Here's Drew now, getting busy, taking it down to the Rabbitohs 10. Let's see how their line holds up under pressure for the first time in this game. Nathan Hindmarsh gets to dummy half, will try his luck from there. The Rabbitohs were aware of that though. Craigie was there to make the tackle, also with Henson. It comes to Drew, who fires a long pass to Custo. He had Butner outside him, trying to split them himself. He was wrapped up by Pulatua. Last tackle now. Drew gets it at first receiver. A little chip over the top, looking for Moody. He floated it back infield. It fell down for Luke Burt. That's an amazing piece of play and a try for Parramatta.
Great work there by Jason Moody. And it came on the back of a repeat set. A charge down from Nathan Hindmarsh. The Rabbitohs should have been down the other end of the field. Di Bartolo's kick charged down by Nathan Hindmarsh. Picking on the loose ball. They work the ball to the middle of the field. Then on last play, Drew gets the football, puts it in the air, and watch Moody leap high over the top of Olzard, knocking the ball back in play, and Luke Burt was on the spot.
I thought Drew took the wrong option there. I thought the catch and pass was on, but he elected to put in there precision placement there, and Moody, athleticism plus Burt trailing through. Great try to the Eels. Great confidence boost for them.
The Eels come up with the result the first time they take it inside the Rabbitohs 20. And now Hodgson from wide out with a good strike as well. It has the legs. Things are happening for the Eels suddenly here at Parramatta Stadium. They lead the Rabbitohs 6-0. Ian Hindmarsh it is, who'll bring it back for the Eels. He plays it at the 20 to Irvine. We had Ryan with him, who's out there off the bench now for the Eels. Nathan Hindmarsh came up with the all-important charge down. He's one of the best at them, along with the Bulldogs, Steve Price, who picks up plenty as well. They certainly can get it in the kicker's face, can't they? Irvine feeds it to Drew, who again drives it low, looking for that sideline on the eastern side, and he finds it as well. I think you'll find that's a 40-20. It certainly crossed the line about a metre inside the 20, and it will be a 40-20.
Oh, what a kick there by Brad Drew. There's some question marks coming into this game about the halves combination of the Parramatta side. Custo and Brad Drew haven't played together before, and they're really directing the side around the park. The kicking game's been spot on. They really want to play the game down in South Sydney's territory, just looking to get forward, quick play the balls and get into their kitch.
Ball in now. Out.
Just their second 40-20 of the season. Resulted them deep on the attack here. Hodgson away to Burt, got away from Gross and returned the favour to Moody. One good deed deserves another, and the Eels have made it 10-0 with a scintillating piece of backline play.
And the Parramatta tries have come on the back of some wonderful efforts. First of all, Nathan Hindmarsh with the charge down. And then their second try, a lovely 40-20 kick by Brad Drew. And this time, lovely in and away by Luke Burt. Got tremendous pace. Gross was struggling. Olzard didn't know whether to come in or stay out. He elected to come in.
Hodgson again, a much easier position, just 10 metres to the right of the post. Has no trouble with it. And after what was a stalemate for 15 minutes, it's now the Eels who suddenly enjoy a 12-0 gap over the Rabbitohs. Drew takes the kick off. It comes to Ian Hindmarsh.
Stand up. Hold here.
The Rabbitohs make a change themselves. Adam Peake coming on for Frank Pulatua. Here's Hindmarsh. Ian, that is, hit a very solid tackle. Shane Rigon took the chance to put a bit of a hit on him. Butner now, collared by Andrew Hart there. Vella and Kalis watching on from the bench tonight. They'll take no parts. Both of them ruled out today with leg injuries. Irvine will give it to Custo, who takes his turn at getting the kick away. McKinnon floating back with it. Couldn't take it on the full. And he'll look up and see a wall of yellow and blue jumpers in front of him. In fact, he lost it. It was raked out.
It's always a good sign when your chase is good after a good kick. And the Parramatta side have really taken confidence from the 2 tries that they've put on the board early. They are really moving up hard in their defensive line. The kick, Jace, was spot on. They had a full line down there, and McKinnon really had nowhere to go.
For me, back it up a step.
Well, Stringer will bring it back for the Rabbitohs up towards the halfway line. But they've done so well in the first quarter of an hour here. Find themselves a couple of converted tries down. Adam Muir, as we said, changed his mind about his sudden retirement earlier in the week and will be available to be picked next weekend after sitting out this weekend. Here's deep. Stringer again picks up some very big metres for them. Has them down to the 30 of the Eels. Di Bartolo at first receiver. Fires a nice ball to Craigie, who had Rigon outside him, but the lock forward has put it down.
Well, coming out of trouble, the Rabbitohs are having a lot of success using the short sides of the Parramatta defensive line. They do play Custo and Brad Drew 3 in either side of the field. And when they're bringing the ball out of trouble, I'm sure that's where the Bunnies are aiming a lot of their attacks, the smaller men.
Join seconds in over the top, Shane Rigon. Join in.
Drew has it from the scrum into the Eels as Burt fires it to Custo, trying to get on the outside there of Craigie, who wrapped him up. Peterson breaks it up for a gain of about 10 towards the halfway line, and now Violecki will take his turn. The rapid-fire dummy half runs by the Eels. They like that mode of going forward. Nathan Hindmarsh standing, offloading a ball which looks forward. It comes to Luke Burt. He floats one over the top to Wagon. He had Moody outside him, who was hoping for a kick to be put in. Wagon still going. He'll play it though. 15 out. 2 tackles left in this set for the Eels. Ryan showing it. Comes to Drew, who's wrapped up by Hart with the help of Peake. Here's Hodgson to Custo, who grubbers Watson an air swing. McKinnon picks it up. He'll try and make it back to the field of play, but they'll bundle him over the dead ball line and give him a bit of a what for as well.
Great play there by the Eels there, Warren. They're really on their game in the play the ball tonight. They're just out-competing the Rabbits, and this is going to be a big scoreline unless the Rabbits can start to slow down the play the balls. The Eels, unfortunately, are just getting that big roll on the juggernaut starting to come back.
Certainly was there at rapid-fire speed as they dispense with McKinnon in no uncertain terms over the dead ball line. A drop out from Craigie. Comes down to Bird, and now it's Ian Hindmarsh, who tracks across the field to link up with Hodgson. He is dangerous down the middle of the park. Irvine found Ian Hindmarsh. Back to Hodgson. He's got Burt and Moody to his right-hand side. Both crossed the line so far tonight. Burt will dive to try and pick up a penalty, not fallen for by Hayne. Here's Wagon, about 9 metres away. Comes to Drew. Fires a long looping pass to Custo. That lets the Rabbitohs defence get up into the 5/8 space. Killed the momentum, that rainbow pass, if you like, from Drew. Butner. The short ball onto Ian Hindmarsh. One more for them. Just outside the Rabbitohs 10, they'll take it. Drew has Wagon. Rubbers. This time McKinnon comes up, or rather Watts comes up with it, but once again they'll get 6 more tackles. They trap him inside the in goal.
And the confidence is back in this Parramatta side. That's their second repeat set. And when you're down this end of the football field, if you don't come up with points, that is the next best option, is to get another set of 6. And the Rabbits are really struggling. They've defended well. They're starting to look a bit tired.
60 seconds.
Craigie again with the goal line dropout. It comes down to Drew. And it's Ian Hindmarsh once more. Same play as we saw in the previous goal line dropout.
Stand up, Jason, let him play it. Hold here. Wait. Paul.
Irvine will wait. Goes from dummy half.
Keep going.
Stuttering run before he gives it off to Custo, who stepped inside the tackle there of Luke Stewart. He's only about 18 metres away when he plays it. The alarm bells are ringing again here for the Rabbitohs as Nathan Hindmarsh had it out there for an age before he tucked it back in to take the tackle. Ryan now to Custo. Back on the inside for Butner. It opened up. And he's in under the black dots. The Eels get their third try. And it's 16 points to 0.
Fatigue certainly played a part there. The Rabbitohs look to be struggling. And again, the quick play of the ball and the dummy half runs by the Eels. And then it was just a lovely inside ball from Ben Custo. Just a huge gap on the inside for Michael Butner.
Well, we all see there is a problem here for Daniel Irvine, who has a leg injury, and the Medicab is coming straight onto the field. He's in the in-goal area where he's laying there, so it must have taken place sometime around the play of the ball before, which led to the Butner try. But he is in some discomfort as they signalled straight away for the Medicab. Let's take a look at this again as Irvine was backing up the run forward of Nathan Hindmarsh. You could see there he was in some pain as he went forward in towards the in-goal area, and he was laying there while the try was being scored. Looks to be a great deal of discomfort here. We'll force the reshuffle that we were guessing would happen, and McFadden will come on for Irvine. And we'll see whether he goes into the dummy half role for the moment, or whether Drew remains at halfback, or they swap them around to their more natural positions. The captain claps off his hooker, and we'll get a report as soon as we can on Daniel Irvine. But with the urgency they showed getting the Medicab out there the moment the try was scored, it's hard not to fear the worst for Daniel Irvine. Hodgson, though, waiting by, will have this one from right in front. Has kicked 34 of 39 in 2002. Very healthy success rate as McFadden is out there. Getting through a few warm-ups to get himself ready for the action. Won't mind coming on with the score about to be 18 points to 0 with 14 left in this first half. Hodgson does make it 18 points to 0. And already it's a long way back for the Rabbitohs. 3 converted tries down after almost half an hour here at Parramatta. They're at 18 points to 0, the Rabbitohs, and they haven't been too bad in this game. Just some pressure from them has brought about the tries. Well, Olzard went for the short one. Going to give him points for trying at least. He hit it hard and low, but it was only 5 metres and not the 10.
Well, the short kick-off is always a calculated gamble, and on that occasion it was just nowhere near the 10 metres. It probably went forward 3 metres.
Brad Drew finds the line. Here it is again. He hooked it on purpose, you have to think. They took the odds to it. They put themselves under some pressure, though. Here's McFadden. Turns it back on the inside for Ian Hindmarsh.
Any steam, Jason?
They're just 9 away. Here's Drew, still at first receiver. Comes to Custo, has Wagon with him. So is Luke Burt. They held their line this time, the Rabbitohs. Waited for him. Di Bartolo made the tackle, but gives away the penalty. That was the last thing they needed. They made the good tackle and they stopped him cold. They just gave him a little bit of a shove as Luke Burt was trying to get back to his feet to slow the play of the ball down. Shane Haynes said, "I'll have none of that." But Drew, from the penalty tap restart, will give it on to Ryan. McFadden going from dummy half himself. Looking to keep it going. He had Wagon working around the back of him. Sloppy play the ball. Eventually comes to Drew. Goes over the top of Hodgson. Custo turns it back for Violecki. He takes the power of stopping. He's just 9 metres away. We'll play it back to Nathan Hindmarsh once again. Going from dummy half, and will get across the line as well. I don't think he got it down. And Shane Hayne, in fact, says he was held up. Seen him go a couple of times from that position. He went very close to scoring that time.
It looks something like a rugby union maul here. David Violecki came in and just launched himself into the back of the group of players. They're trying to get some momentum for Nathan Hindmarsh to get over the line, but unfortunately for the Eels, Not quite enough momentum there.
Get it in.
Drew. Oh, as Casto puts it down and knocks it on. Just lost his footing as the pass was slightly behind him from Drew.
Yeah, lack of communication there. Brad Drew wanted Casto to cross. He didn't cross until late. At that stage, Drew had let go of the football. The pass wasn't to the mark. And unfortunately for the Parramatta side, they did drop it. But it's a let-off for the Bunnies. They are out on their feet. They really must work harder to play the ball. They really have to be dominant, get numbers in the tackle, and try and slow it down as well as they possibly can.
Stringer standing in the tackle himself now, like a colossus. Takes three of them to drag him to ground. He's at the Rabbitohs 30 when he plays it. Hart skips out a couple to give it to Brent Gross. Collected the tackle there of Burt, who accommodated him, and now Rigon goes from dummy half to take in midfield. Do the kicking now through Di Bartolo. Quite get the spiral going on it, but he's found plenty of distance with this one. Moody takes it inside his own 10. Hodgson thought about giving it on to Peterson after being hit a good tackle by Jason Deep. Might wish he had. Here is Moody.
Well, they really have to get on the board before half-time, the Rabbitohs, if they're any chance of winning this game. The Parramatta side, they are playing with a lot of confidence. At stages, they're trying to force the football, so there is mistakes out there, but the Rabbitohs really must be trying to be committed in defence, maybe force a couple of turnovers and get an opportunity to try and put a four-pointer on.
And Laurie, this is the area of the field that the Rabbits really can force areas. They've got their line jammed up. They know Parramatta's not going to spread the ball at all. They've got to get up in their faces and keep getting up there.
Drew it is, who will chip over the top this time. They're racing through for it. Hodgson was in the contest. Di Bartolo will beat everybody to it. The fullback went within an ace, getting the bounce he was looking for. Here's Olzard being snapped in half almost by Ian Hindmarsh and Brad Drew. Drew stopped him, and then Ian Hindmarsh, like a javelin, just speared him around the ribs. And Olzard knows he is certainly playing first-grade here this evening after a hit like that. Fitzgerald is out there for the Rabbitohs. He'll play it. He's back to Watts. Di Bartolo, Andrew Hart. Simple mistake. I think Andrew Hart thought he was just running a decoy line and certainly wasn't ready for the pass. Simple mistake from the Rabbitohs, and now it's the Eels who have it through Custo. McFadden. With 8.5 minutes left in this first half. Gives it off to Nathan Hindmarsh. He bumps away from the hard tackle. Comes to Pulatua. 3 tries so far for the home team as McFadden tries to ignite try number 4. Good gain of about 15 or 20 metres by him. He's just 25 away from the line. Ryan will give it to Drew. Comes through the hands of Custo onto Butner. Wagon is in behind them. The Rabbitohs defence down this left-hand side after a couple of mistakes early on, which saw them deep inside their territory, the Eels. Well, some good defence on that occasion. They forced a poor kick here, which comes back to Olzard eventually. He'll play it there quickly for Fitzgerald. He gives it on to Hart.
I think the Rabbitohs really must try and experiment a bit more with the football. They are just going one out. The Parramatta side are compressed in their defensive line. Look to get a bit of width. Try and put some confusion in the Parramatta defensive line. They are 18 points behind. I don't think just rucking it out off there over the advantage line is too helpful at the moment.
Laurie, they're just being out-competed in this play the ball. You have a look at how slow the play the ball from South is compared to Parramatta, and they've got no room to get the ball wide. The forwards have got to stand up.
Di Bartolo with the kick this time. The Rabbitohs were appealing for a high tackle on Shane Rigon in the previous play. They didn't get the penalty they wanted, and this kick goes dead in goal as Michael Butner comes back to the bench and has to be held back there. He's got a nasty cut on that right cheekbone. Probably grog as he went back to the bench as well.
And McFadden, as we predicted, Andrew McFadden is in at dummy half, and Drew stays out in the first receiver role because he's doing such a great job tonight, organising as well as kicking.
As they work on Michael Butner back on the bench. It's taken forward here by Daniel Heckenberg, who plays it just short of the halfway line. He gets his first touch of the evening. Drew back on the inside for Ryan. Some good defence by Rigon. Coming across in cover. Top to boot the back of the head for his trouble. Now Drew from dummy half, giving it to Heckenberg. The Eels can sense try number 4 is in the offing here. Here's Custo. He'll put it high in the air. Watts has had his moments tonight. This one, though, will clear the dead ball line by about 10 metres. It was an enormous kick.
I'm sure if that had stayed in the field of play, then Watts would have been in all sorts of trouble. The spiralling bomb, it was moving all over the place. But unfortunately for the Parramatta side, he put too much on it.
Now, Andrew.
Here is Watts.
They need to get a bit of width about them in attack, don't they? The Bunnies, they are just straight in behind the play. They're not providing any options, and Parramatta are just jamming their line right in because they know Souths are not going to go around them. And by jamming their line in, it means that it's even harder for the Souths forwards to try and crack the line.
Fitzgerald takes it into Eels territory. 5 left in this first half, and now Stringer again, who hits the advantage line and drags defenders with him 4 or 5 more metres. Last tackle, Di Bartolo, again just chipping over the top. This one will find the sideline. It'll give the Rabbitohs perhaps the breather they're looking for. We'll give the chance though for the Eels to work it away from the scrum win, 10 out from their own line.
It's been a problem all season for them, hasn't it, their kicking game? That time the ball just going out before the try line, but they've been under enormous amounts of pressure. The Parramatta side are really targeting. They're getting up off the line already. We've seen a charge down that's led to a try.
Nice and still. Stay in the scrum, stay, that's it.
They get it. From the scrum win. Oh, Moody has it stolen by Owen Craigie, who almost lost it himself. It comes to Hinson. Here's a chance for the Rabbitohs. They get the mistake they were looking for. Rigon puts the foot down, runs into McFadden. He's just a couple of metres away. What a one-on-one steal it was by Craigie. Again, they go from dummy half. Brett Sheehan in that role now with Deeth off the field, tries his luck. Here's Di Bartolo. He gets a pass away. It bounces across the sideline, though. He forced at the halfback. He could sense something was coming. They raced up off their line, the Eels, and didn't shut it down. Had the pass, found the players to the left-hand side of him. They were going to score.
Well, they just had to show some composure then, the Rabbitohs, and they would have scored on the left-hand side of the field. Lovely bit of work by Owen Craigie. Moody's got that one-arm carry, gets himself into a lot of trouble.
Stay in that scrum, Luke.
And unfortunately for the Rabbitohs, just forcing the pass.
The Eels again work it away from the scrum win. A little more success for Moody this time. His previous possession pinched by Craigie, who has lost his number 6 off the back of the jumper.
Hold here. Stay straight there. Get your leg out of it.
McFadden gives it away to Ryan. The Eels will be happy. There's Craigie playing with a clean skin jumper at the moment. Hindmarsh now. And down that left-hand side almost exclusively again in attack tonight for the Eels. Handling him on this occasion. And it's Drew. He gets his kick charge down this time, but it was picked up on the fly by Custo. Looking for support. He puts a kick in for Moody. Now it's a race between the winger and Gross, who gets back there to save the day for the Rabbitohs, and will bring it back to the field of play as well. That's great work.
Oh, great. That's exceptional work there by Brent Gross. He had Moody breathing down his neck. Got the football out into the field of play. Great bit of work, and that is a tremendous effort by the winger, or the centre three-quarter, Brent Gross. But what about Ben Custo picking the ball up, took the option of putting it on the boot.
Oh, David.
Stringer will play it just outside the Rabbitohs 20. Here's Di Bartolo again. Picks out Hodgson, who will bring it back at speed with intent, showing it. He's got Violecki with him. Luckily for the Rabbitohs, they got numbers there, but that looked dangerous.
It's just been a training drill for the Parramatta side. On 5th tackle, working the ball off their own line. The Bunnies are kicking the football. They haven't found space. They're getting it to the wingers or Hodgson on the full. And then they're just getting the numbers back there. They're looking to kick, return and attack. just too easy at the moment for the Parramatta side.
And Departolo's been put under enormous pressure. There's no option kicking game. They've got to get Owen Craigie in there to take some pressure off him.
Witters almost split this Rabbitohs line again. Custo. Comes to Nathan Hindmarsh. A short ball away to Hodgson. They're dancing as they watch him get to the line because he scores the fullback to make it 22 to blot here against the Rabbitohs on the stroke of half-time as well. They have found a bit of a combination tonight after being out of all sorts in the last 8 weeks. They lead comfortably here at half-time.
And this is the type of game that the Parramatta side really needed to boost their confidence, get players back into form.
You hit the nail on the head before, Wayne, when you said as far as the lack of options in the Rabbitohs kicking game, and that is something that has plagued them all season long, and one of the reasons their kicking game at times has been so poor. Lee Bartolo, some sort of initiation tonight. Parramatta defenders streaming through on him. Hodgson hooks this one to the left-hand side after notching up 100 points for the season with his try. He has 3 goals and a 4-pointer to his name already this evening. And the Eels, well, they're on track to break the drought here at Parramatta.
Updating Fox Sports News. Leighton Hewitt has lost the final of the Cincinnati Masters in straight sets to Spaniard Carlos Moya. The world number 1 lost the first set 7-5 and then squandered a 5-2 lead in the second, eventually losing 7-6. Kari Webb fired a closing 66 to become the first player to win the Women's British Open 3 times. It's the 6th major victory of the Australian's career. And Tiger Woods has survived a mid-round challenge by Mexican Esteban Toledo to win the Buick Open by 4 shots. Stuart Appleby was the best placed of the Aussies 8 shots back. All the details tonight on Fox Sports News at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Welcome to the best of Fox Sports Central. We picked up the best of this week's show for your viewing pleasure. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Susie O'Neill. Nathan Blackwell, ladies and gentlemen. But how good am I going? You're going pretty good. I'm going pretty good. Oh, it's nothing like working with the girls here on Fox Sports Central.
If you can't be there on Sundays, tune in to the best of Fox Sports Central. Tonight at 6 on 1.
After 55 years of memorable rugby league, 55 years of great players, 55 years of brilliant tries, after 55 years of Parramatta football, it's time to select the greatest team to ever represent the Eels, the Legends of Parramatta. Each week, vote for a different position and have a chance to win great prizes. To vote for your Legends team, log on to the Eels website or call 1900 966 588. The Legends of Parramatta. Vote now. Get into the NFL this season.
Your job is to seek and destroy.
2 of the most exciting teams from last season go head-to-head in the NFL preseason match of the week. Live, St. Louis Rams take on the Bears this Saturday at 10 on 2.
Sometimes you can keep your cool. And sometimes you just gotta spit the dummy. They've got the F out, but it's still the same attitude. High impact, slam and aggression to the core. Forget the Federation. Bring on the entertainment. WWE Raw, Tuesday night, 8:30 on 1.
Bert gets us back underway for this second half as it comes down to the Rabbitohs. Henson almost comes up with a knock-on from the restart. Here's Stringer. It was perhaps their best by a fair margin in that first half. Kept putting his hand up and taking it forward. Brett Sheehan, one of a number of players who's had his chance at half-back for the Rabbitohs this season. Hulatua.
go, Ben.
Plays just outside their own 40-metre line. Sheen, a short ball on to Jamie Fitzgerald.
Stand up.
The former Dragon will play it there. Di Bartolo, putting it down the short side. Hodgson, a very safe, sometimes spectacular game. 10 points to his own total so far in the first 40 minutes as Peterson takes it back up towards the Eels 30. Here's McFadden. Winners now. Gets through them, can bust the line and offloads to Drew. He links up with McFadden. Now it's Peterson. They've taken it down to the Rabbitohs 30. What a bust by Winners. Can lay a ball on. Can create something himself as well, Ryan.
Frank, let him go.
He'll play it back to McFadden. Drew. Had options both sides. Went to his right-hand side to find Winners. This time they round him up. Now 13 away from the Rabbitohs line. Drew gets to dummy half. Fires it to Custo. He grubbers. They're pouring through. Nathan Hindmarsh is there, but Watts beats everybody to the ball. Takes no chances with it. The Eels will get 6 more.
Yeah, great set of 6 straight after half-time by the Parramatta side. Defensively, the Rabbitohs, they must improve. They've just had a 12-minute break at half-time, and then to come out and produce a set of 6 where the opposition go nearly 100 metres. I mean, Craig Coleman, he would be sitting in the grandstand pulling his hair out.
The drop out from Craigie. Comes back to Daniel Herkenberg to bring it up to them. Well, a good chance for the Eels to add to this scoreline of 22 points to 0. Drew for Ryan. He was standing there. Player flashing through. Luke Burton was looking for an offload. Custo set off the left foot. Luke Stewart waited at the line for him. Custo almost went straight past him. Here's McFadden again to Drew. Holding it in one arm. Looking for an offload to Nathan Hindmarsh. They wrapped him up and took him to ground heavily. Burt now at dummy half to McFadden. Showed it inside to Hodgson, who just stepped through the easiest of holes which opened up in front of him. McFadden just showed it one way. They stopped on the inside, the Rabbitohs, and Hodgson strolls through for try number 2.
On the back of some quick play the balls, the Eels again looking dangerous. The repeat set of 6, and then McFadden just holding the ball out.
Off the back of the repeat set of 6, saw them score in the first half of 3 repeat sets. Hodgson adds the extra 2 to add 28 points on the scoreboard for the Eels, with the Rabbitohs looking once again to try and limit the damage. Well, last week they had half a century racked up against them by the Tigers. They are in danger of once again seeing the 50 on the board tonight. Olzard it is with the restart. Andrew Ryan moving on to the Bulldogs. 2003 brings it back.
Owen, you're out, Owen.
It's McFadden. Bialecki. It's the inside ball from Custo. With all the room and time they've had to use it tonight, it's done pretty well, 5'8". As they make a mistake here, McFadden. Pretty simple one from dummy half. The sort of mistake they have been making this season, which has cost them dearly, but it won't tonight with the scoreline already well on their side of the ledger.
And that's the sign of a guy that doesn't play too much at dummy half. He was standing too close behind to play the ball.
Craigie.
Stand up.
It's Gross who'll play it just outside the Eels 20. Can they get something going here? Watts takes it towards the post. The Eels defence hasn't been stretched too many times tonight. Di Bartolo to pull the 2 up. Second man play, he was floating in behind the decoy runners. The Eels were waiting for him. Di Bartolo to Craigie. Again, a ball back on the inside for Rigon. An inside defence kept coming across for the Eels. Sheen gets to dummy half. Di Bartolo, a ball on the outside. I'll wrap him up there. Fitzgerald standing in the tackle. Just a couple of metres away. Sheen runs across the face of them. Dummied, hoping to catch them out, but on the last play was not the option they were looking for, perhaps.
You know, half a dozen times that the Rabbits have been down pressing the Eels line in this game. Not once have they come up with a great in-goal kick or forced a repeat set. Whereas the Eels, on every occasion that they've been in a position, they've looked to force a repeat set and keep maintaining some pressure on the south side.
McFadden slipping over from dummy half. A couple of moments in that position in the last few minutes. Here's Witters. More than half an hour left here at Parramatta. Rabbitohs fans will be wincing once again watching this one. Burt plays it quickly for McFadden, who only just got there. Here's Daniel Wagon running out towards the halfway line. Need a couple of tacklers. He'll play it. Comes to Drew. He looks left, changed his mind to come down the short side of the field. Watts, on this occasion, was positioned pretty well. Brings it back out towards the Rabbitohs 30. Here's Olzar. A terrific tackle by Ian Hindmarsh in that first half. They levelled him. Showed plenty of ticker to get back to his feet. He's out there in his first game of first grade.
And Warren, the Eels have been relentless in their go forward tonight in defence. They've been real aggressive. They've got up in the faces of the Rabbits and forced a lot of errors. That's why they've had so much possession throughout the first half.
Now McFadden nursing an arm as he makes his way back into the defensive line. Somewhat slowly, it has to be said. Craigie puts in the chip kick for himself. Didn't get there in time, and Hodgson once again threatened to split them down the middle of the park.
And it's been made easy for the fact that the Rabbitohs aren't offering a great deal as far as attack's concerned, just looking to go up the middle of the park. They need to pick up their support play. They must try and experiment, get a bit of width in their attack. I mean, they've got a good completion rate happening, but it's what you do with the football, not so much on holding it. You really must test the opposition defensive line. They haven't done that tonight. And you get the feeling that the only time the Rabbitohs may score is from a kick, where Parramatta may struggle to handle.
He was on you and you were on top.
Frank Pulatua and Stringer, the players penalised for laying on the tackled player. Drew finds the line, the breather for the moment. It's given Andrew McFadden the chance to just regain some feeling in that right arm that he was carrying. Got a bit of a cork to the forearm, a bit of a dead arm that he was carrying, but he's a dummy half now. Looks okay. Drew gives it to Heckenberg. With the shoulders there of Pulatua. Just 15 metres away. Drew goes to Witters, who shuffles it on to Wagon. Lost his footing as he tried to step off that right foot. Custo will give it to Witters, who puts a step on. He'll beat them all and score his own try. He broke the line before and almost got them a 4-pointer in the opening minutes of this second half. He beat a couple of soft tackles, it has to be said, close to the line, but he certainly can step, and he's a strong type. He can pass, he can put kicks in as well. Comes up with a solo effort here to score 4 points.
Yeah, great work there by Dean Witters. Too much strength and power. Just brushing aside some feeble attempted tackles by the Rabbitohs. Sheehan missed him, and then Craigie missed him as well. Watts couldn't do much about it.
Hodgson, yes, the points again. And the Eels in a canter at the moment. Lead the Rabbitohs 34 points to 0. We've got plenty of time here left in this second half. Hodgson might go close to cracking his own personal best in a match for the Eels, which stands at 24. He's at 18 at the moment. Peterson will bring it back from the kickoff. Here's Ryan. The previous games this afternoon on Super Saturday was the Storm, who scored a much-needed win over the Cowboys. And in one of the games of the round, if not the game of the round, the Warriors have ended the Bulldog streak, which will remain at 17 in 2002. Handsome win over there. And of course, next week, the Eels, looking ahead, will take on the Bulldogs at the Sydney Showground. should not be able to fit them in there either. Pretty much a capacity audience over there at Ericsson Stadium earlier tonight. It should be the same next week at Homebush. Kick in over the head of Watts. It's almost a shame in some ways that the streak of the Bulldogs has ended before it got to perhaps number 19, or the attempt at 19 next week against their arch enemies, the Parramatta Eels. It would have been some way to tie the 1975 Roosters record, wouldn't it, against the Eels at Homebush. Here's Sheen. It's an offload, takes it across the halfway line. Di Bartolo feeds it on to Gerald Simons, who's out there. Now Di Bartolo again for Stringer, who will play it there after 5 tackles. See what sort of kick they come up with this time. It's been their Achilles heel all season. They go for the bomb, which will be about 1 metre too deep. Just can't quite get it right, can they?
But once again, Di Bartolo there was put under too much pressure. He didn't have an option kicker, no one he could pass to take the pressure off himself. And as a result, he didn't have any time to put the kick in. It was a dud kick.
Stay straight at marker.
Nathan Hindmarsh goes from dummy half. See, the Eels are all keen as he took it forward then. Peterson, Ryan and Moody all flashing up in support, looking for an offload.
3, Paul, let him go. Wait here, hold.
Heckenberg runs back to McFadden. Here's Hindmarsh again. This time he comes up with the ball and comes to Hodgson. He's got Moody in support. They're there to stop him.
Paul, let him go.
Drag him to ground a couple of metres away. McKinnon got there with the help of Olzar. They go to the right immediately. Drew fires a long ball to Wagon. Well, surely had to score on that play. In fact, Di Bartolo's done pretty well to stop the lock forward. Here's Custo on the last tackle. Grubbering. Watts, cool as you like, parries it off the left hand.
That's one now.
The former Eel brings it back out towards his own 20.
Lovely play by the Parramatta side. Little short cross play around the middle of the park, and Hodgson straight through the middle. The Rabbitohs, they are starting to walk around the middle of the field. Their tight defenders are hitting extremely wide.
Heckenberg.
Warren now looking to exploit the middle of the park.
So Heckenberg coming back to the bench with a nasty cut to the right eye, quite obviously, as Gross stands in the tackle. Gives it on for Fitzgerald as they pick up some good metres here. Again, an Eel's been left in the back play, riding on the ground as Craigie puts the kick in. Looking for McKinnon this time, but Peterson beats him to the ball. Bounces back to his feet to try and get it back to the field of play. On this occasion, they'll get a repeat set of 6 from a long-range run down the field with a good kick off the back of it. Here is Hodgson back some 40 metres from the try line, and he's holding his right forearm here. Of course, they've already lost Daniel Irvine earlier tonight with what looks to be a broken ankle, and now Hodgson in a deal of pain with a right wrist or forearm injury.
Had no luck, have they, this season as far as injuries and suspensions are concerned. Last year, they had the ability to rest players leading into the semi-finals. This year, though, it's all hands on deck. Hodgson coming across to make the tackle. You see him pulling away there with his right arm. Does not look good for this Parramatta side.
Yeah, it was a regulation tackle he's made, and as was the case with Irvine, it didn't appear to be anything in that at all, but he's in a substantial amount of pain there. It looks like his right wrist or forearm.
Doesn't seem to be a whole lot in it. He is in a lot of pain, but of course it could be also the way he fell. Might have been his shoulder, and he did take a look at his right shoulder just then as well. I think you might find he might have even dislocated his right shoulder here. Oh yes. Oh. I'm going to say, if there's any doubt about that, it was removed as he walked past the camera there, and you could see quite disfiguration, if you like, of the shoulder.
Let's hope it's his shoulder pads.
Yeah, well,
poking out of position.
Didn't look like them. I don't know that he was.
Oh, I know. Got both his shoulders if that's the case.
I think he might have dislocated his shoulder quite badly there. Here's Craigie now, which in some ways might be a lot better for him than a broken wrist, quite obviously. Here's Di Bartolo to Craigie. Stewart carry himself almost to the line before he's repelled at the last moment. Sheehan from dummy half. He's tried his luck in that position a couple of times tonight for no success. And now Hart will give it to Craigie on the last tackle. They just can't come up with an option, can they? Here's Watts rubbering now, but it's picked up by Luke Burt. Thought for a moment there, he might have been able to run 95 metres.
Yeah, well, their fifth tackle options when they're attacking have been poor tonight, and that time they needed a bit of depth in their attack to get the kick in. They always knew that the Parramatta side were going to rush, put a lot of pressure on. Craigie just standing too flat, put his side under enormous pressure.
Here's Ryan, looking off the back of a good hit up by Nathan Hindmarsh, who copped one for his trouble from Jamie Fitzgerald. And the kick from Drew, the worst one of the night from him after what has been a very good game by the hooker slash halfback. Off a little bit too much on this occasion. Scooted off the side of the boot, as you can see there on the replay.
It was an interesting tactic too, Warren, because it was only the fourth tackle. They've been well in control. He obviously wanted to get the ball down the other end and believes there's some mistakes they can tackle into the south side.
Here are the Bunnies. Inside the Eels 40 as Craigie comes to Andrew Hart. A ball back on the inside for Watts. Craigie again. Issuing Stringer back inside him. Brent Gross. Inside the Eels 20. 3 tackles left. See what option they work for this time. Di Bartolo showing it. They almost fell for it. Took a good tackle from Ryan to stop him. Craigie again. Almost exclusively now at first receiver. Andrew Hart had the ball stolen from him. One-on-one, says Shane Hayne.
The zero tackle.
Will be the zero tackle. The ball lost in the tackle. As though Wagon was around the legs with Witters over the top, and the ball came loose. It was okay, said the referee, and now it's Peterson who works it away from dummy half.
Two, stand up. Don't lay there. Here and hold.
Well, their depth, which has already been tested somewhat. Peterson and Stringer have a moment. The winger plays the ball. Here's a mistake by Ian Hindmarsh. That depth is really going to be stretched now for the Parramatta Eels. Irvine with a potential broken ankle. Brett Hodgson in a deal of trouble with looked to be a severely dislocated shoulder. Irvine back on the bench. Looked to be a soft cast around that left leg under the blanket. Here's Craigie.
Two. Let him go, Michael.
He's just 12 metres away. Plenty of tackles up their sleeve in this sort of 6 to try something. Andrew Hart just taking it to the left-hand side, and an innocuous hit up with nothing happening. Sheehan. Give it to Craigie. He bypasses Stewart. Gives it to Simons. He's wrapped up pretty easily by Ben Custo. Then Hinson gives it to Craigie. Sheehan now. Fitzgerald was moving up on the left-hand side. He mistimed his run. Deep gets the dummy half, looking for something, if anything. Here's Craigie. Chip over the top. Peterson did very well to take it on the full in the end goal. Well, he put them under some pressure in the end, Craigie, but there was nothing doing in the previous 5 tackles to that.
Yeah, the South's confidence has bottomed out. I mean, on that occasion, it was just catch and pass. There was no variation, no decoy runners, no inside ball. It's just not going to be good enough to get anywhere near the points on the board against this Parramatta side that really is playing well tonight. Got to give them credit because with their front row was dropping out late, Bello and Kalis out. It was obviously a blow to their go forward, would have lifted the South spirits, but the young guys out there tonight have really stepped up. I think Nathan Hindmarsh has been damaging. Ian Hindmarsh, Daniel Wagon, all those guys have really played well, and there's still 20 minutes left to go in this game.
Here is Nathan Hindmarsh giving it to Ryan. The crusher, of course, such a big part of the Parramatta development here. Is watching on from the sideline, like what he's seen tonight from some of the charges he's brought to the club over the years. And now a penalty as Custo was cleaned up after he got the kick away.
And that's frustration by Jamie Fitzgerald. See him coming in. He might have raised the forearm a little bit.
see it there, just that forearm around the collarbone region of Custo, well after the event. Shane Hayne will talk to him, and the captain, Andrew Hart.
Jamie, had plenty of time to pull out, but the contact was up around this area, so we'll place it on report and let them look at it. Hey, let's go on report.
Well, I'll have a look at that over the weekend, the video review committee, and we'll find out if Jamie Fitzgerald has a charge to answer. McFadden. Ian Hindmarsh, who's played as a front rower tonight, plays it. Comes back to his brother now, Nathan. He's had a number of touches tonight, a lot of possessions for a second rower in a game. Here's Drew. Custo outside him. The angle coming back on the inside. The play was cut down. It was Michael Butner. Ball and all tackle made. Here's Drew now, chipping over the top. Matthew Peterson. He stuck in behind him.
Check that. Just check the onside, Curls.
They'll make sure he was onside. Drew, good vision to see the winger had an easy passage in behind them. You see Violecki calling for it. The compressed defensive line of the Rabbitohs was in around the ruck area. You can see Peterson's getting through at the end there. We couldn't see him on the initial replay. Might be hard to adjudicate on this one. He was that wide.
Yeah, I think he was onside. Lovely bit of work by Brad Drew. And the difference between the two sides here tonight in the attacking zones has been the direction that the Parramatta side have been given by Brad Drew and the vision of Drew and Custo. Just made a wonderful difference, this Parramatta side. They're taking the right options. The Rabbitohs, on the other hand, are coming up with some ordinary plays on last tackle. Just great work that by Brad Drew. Pinpoint kick, finding Peterson. This should be a 4-pointer.
Yeah, halfbacks and the top halfbacks can make split decisions and trust their instinct. And on that occasion, Brad Drew, he was going to pass the ball. He thought, oh no, hang on, they're short out wide. He puts the kick up, and it was a spot-on kick. Peterson read it very well also. Peterson could have easily been back expecting the pass, but he was up nice and flat, and I believe this will be a try, no problems.
It comes up with a ref's call, the only decision that video ref Phil Cooley could make. There's a try. They're happy in the stands, they're happy on the field. And I think we'd find somebody who's fairly happy in the coach's box tonight as well. He's been under some sort of pressure, Brian Smith. The little ones like it at the moment. It's a beautifully weighted kick, Brad Drew.
It's been terrific, hasn't he, Brad Drew? Slotted into that number 7 jersey.
Speaking of coaches, if Brian Smith is happy tonight, I'm sure, as we were saying earlier on, the Canberra Raiders coach, Matthew Elliott, who's picked up Brad Drew along with Ian Hindmarsh, will be very happy with the display of both those players tonight.
And Laurie, Brad Drew's had an outstanding game, but I think Ben Custo's also had a big game. He's taken the pressure off. His kicking game has been good, not quite as good as Drew's, but he's also taken the pressure off as far as creating options as a second receiver. You know how hard that is to do at times.
You're exactly right there, Junior. I think that the options that the Parramatta side have had and the combination between the halves has worked really well.
Luke Burke with the kick, he pushes it to the left-hand side. Doesn't really matter at this stage though, because they are doing it in a hand canter at the moment. 38 points to blot it is, with just over 17 minutes left here at Parramatta.
It might sound we're sometimes too hard on Owen Craigie, but he tends to go out of the game too much. He needs to get involved at every opportunity because he's a wonderful player. He's got a lot of skill. He needs to provide the direction and the variety for this South Sydney team, especially when they get in that attacking zone. Instead, he just likes to let other people do it. He takes himself out of the game.
And Laurie, having coached Owen at the Tigers a couple of years ago, I can tell you he's one of the most frustrating players to coach because he is without doubt the classiest player in the South Sydney side out there. I don't think he realises how much ability he's got or how much an impact he can make on the game. And when he decides to inject himself, South throughout the season have looked dangerous, but tonight, unfortunately, he hasn't really had the room to inject himself either because their forwards have been out-competed.
Get up.
The Eels get another penalty here.
Mark's there.
Andrew Hart a little mystified at the moment. Brad Drew has a false start. He'll find the line this time. Good kick as well. Picked up this part of 30 metres. The they'll tap it at the Rabbitohs 30. Here's Ian Hindmarsh. Drew gives it on to Nathan Hindmarsh. Quite often tonight has taken that second hit up, the back of his brother's initial hit up. Witters now getting away, bouncing off defenders again. We'll play it back to Violecki. He throws a shocking pass from dummy half. Luckily it bounced up pretty well for Michael Butner. Almost running behind Andrew McFadden and Shepherd, but the defence closed on him. Here's Drew from dummy half. Back to McFadden. This is his footing. Might lead the league, in fact, in lost footing this year, McFadden. Hit the deck a lot. Here's Drew. Bounces off one Rabbitoh. The shoulder there of Henson up for Andrew Hart. McKinnon work it away from their own 20 once again here. Looking for options. At the moment, it's the backs doing the work. I know that the Rabbitohs came here tonight looking to try and isolate both Ben Custo and Brad Drew in defence as they get a penalty here.
You'll never mark, you never reach the 10 metres.
They've had plenty of chances inside the Eels 20 to try and really find those two players in the defensive line, but they've done a pretty poor job of it. There's been too much happening for them as Luke Stewart comes from the field with perhaps sick and sorry head at the moment. There's another chance for them here to break this duck tonight. Deep going from dummy half. Give it off to Adam Peake. Now get him across the sideline. They rounded him up. Hindmarsh and Violecki doing the damage. Cart him across the sideline.
They've really made their defence the priority tonight. The Parramatta side, they have been outstanding in that area. And their great force carrying him over the sideline.
It was the old-fashioned bums rush pretty much, wasn't it?
He couldn't have picked two bigger boppers to run out on a short blind side. They did that again this season.
Violecki is an enormous man as Craig Coleman watches on, shaking his head at what he's just seen once again with his side on the attack, and they come up with fairly ineffective foray into the Eels territory as Butner gives it on to Wagon.
Stand up, Brad.
David Violecki, he is, for a centre, such a big and raw-boned athlete. He really is an athlete too. Here's a mistake from the Eels.
Zero tackle.
Comes to Fitzgerald.
Stand up. Stay straight at marker.
13 minutes left for the Rabbitohs to do something about this scoreless line next to their name. Here's Sheen. Deep. Give it on to Pete. He's wrapped up there by Custo. Made him look like a strong and robust defender at times tonight, as opposed to the player they were trying to isolate and attack one-on-one. Here's Craigie. Comes to Sheehan, who runs a long way before he almost popped a pass to Olzard. Looking to score on debut. Fitzgerald. Gives it to Craigie and then Stringer. Trying to push away from the Nathan Hindmarsh tackle. Deep in the dummy half again. On the last tackle this time. Craigie chipping back across the field, off the right upright, and straight back to Nathan Hindmarsh, who, like Ray Price in an era before him, was waiting for it like a praying mantis.
Tremendous ability there. Nathan Hindmarsh taking the ball off the bar, and then in the one motion, looking to pass the football. He tried to fend with the right. He had the football out in his left arm and looking to throw the pass, but instead taking it to the ground. He's been a dynamic player out there tonight when he's run the football.
Here's Burt going down the short side. Basketball pass over the top to Peterson. He's one-on-one with Brad Watts, and he stepped him out of his underpants as well. He grabs a double. And they've cracked the 40-point barrier for the first time in a long time, the Eels. They're loving it. It is 42 points to zip.
Sensing an opportunity on the short side, got tremendous speed off the mark, just showing the football. It's just a great bit of work, realising that there was only one player there defending two, and then Peterson He wrong foots Brad Watts and goes over the score.
And it was great dummy half play there also by Custo. He saw that they had numbers on the short side. Burt catch a basketball pass over the top. Now Peterson looks like he's got some oil on him here because McKinnon just slipped straight off him. Poor execution in defence by McKinnon, but Peterson very happy with that. He's pointing to his family in the crowd, I think.
Could have got them better tickets than up on the hill, surely.
It's at the Brett Kenny Hill.
I think Burt's up there himself tonight.
You're a very happy man too, the way that the Eels have bounced back.
He's still a mad Eels fan, Bert. He loves them. And Bert, after putting Peterson away, with a good ball over the top, have this attempt from around 13 metres in from this western touchline. Plenty of time for them to crack this 50-point barrier. It's pretty much the same kick that Burt came up with the first time round. Pushed for the left-hand side. It stays at 42 points to nil with just over 10 minutes left. And Brian Smith, with an injury toll, gaining momentum here tonight at Parramatta, can rest a couple of his stars in the likes of Nathan Hindmarsh and Daniel Wagon, who go back to the bench. I'm sure he'd be happy to keep them there for the remainder of this game, the way things have gone tonight. Here's Heckenberg bringing it back out towards the Eels 20.
Play straight at marker.
Fadden giving it on to Ian Hindmarsh.
Straighten up.
Ryan, a little ball out the back. He was looking for a Matthew Gedley pass. Luke Burton is screaming through for it. Now McFadden gives it on to Peterson. He throws a captain ball pass to Custo. Drew to Gutner. Here they go again. We're off to the races. Peterson backing up, is looking for a hat-trick in the space of 10 minutes. And they round him up 12 metres away from the Rabbitohs line. Custo gives it to Drew. The pass was knocked down by Gross. They were offside, though. It only had to beat the outstretched arm of Gross for the Eels to score again. They were shot to bits on that left-hand side.
They were lining up. They were absolutely lining up there, the Parramatta team. They realise they're close to 50 points.
Here's Witters. The ball to Ian Hindmarsh. I love the performance he's put in tonight. He'll play it back to McFadden. Custo taking them on. Oh, back on the inside. That's magic. Violecki. It was the old P in the thimble. Guess where the ball is if you can. He showed it, hit it behind his buttocks and put it down over the line to make it 46 points to nil.
A great bit of skill there, David Violecki. And the inside ball, they've had a lot of success tonight, the inside ball, and Custo again. Bang off his left, inside ball, lovely skill, lovely hand by Violecki. Tremendous work there by the Parramatta three-quarter.
Yeah, as we mentioned a bit earlier, Ben Custo's been real dangerous on the edge of the ruck, and when the defence gets tired, the first thing that starts to drop off is the inside defender. And on this occasion, David Violecki was on the spot, had plenty of momentum, and what about the hands? He'll be busking as a juggler if he can keep that up, but tremendous work. And as I said, the south side tired, not really working on the inside, and unfortunately 46 points to nil down with a kick to come.
Well, here's Burt from almost the exact same spot again. Let's see if he's got the sight set right this time. He has. And it's 48 points to nil here. They are really enjoying their night's work. They have the chance to crack that 50-point barrier for the first time since round one this same ground, when they racked up 64 against the Panthers in the opening game of their season. Olzar with the restart. He'll be cramping up in that right leg. Heckenberg.
Marcus, stay straight.
McFadden to Drew, who chips over the top on the second tackle from the restart. You reckon they're not trying for it now? They might get the ball back here as well. McKinnon floating back with it. Might have played it. In fact, Olzard it is on that left-hand side. Might have got a touch, and the ball probably will come back the way of Parramatta here.
dangerous play, and it's a play they've used early in the season. They put it in their kit bag, and in the last couple of weeks, they produced it again, but they haven't had a lot of success with it. I remember one time last week where Butner actually tried it from the scrum, kicked it out on the full. It was a better placed kick, and unfortunately for Moody not getting there in time. This Parramatta machine looking as though they're back into some kind of form, Junior.
Yeah, Laurie, they certainly hit their straps tonight, but just as important from Brian Smith's point of view, or more important than getting the 50 points in attack, is to keep South's triallers tonight. It'll be a tremendous effort if they can keep the Rabbitohs out, because it's quite easy when you get well in front to just drop your guard, drop your intensity, but they've been real hungry right throughout the whole game tonight, and I want to stay that way for the next 5 minutes.
He's seen grubbering. McFadden got attached to it. Picked up by the man of the moment, Violecki. He found a flyer in Butner. Watts was coming. Back to Violecki. They are in the queue. Here's the Oopa Loopa Drew. It comes back to Burt. Who puts the step on? They go the length of the field. That is vintage Parramatta. Eels, Eels, Eels. They score 50 for the first time in a long time.
And they're back in form, Warren. Great bit of work. The support players been there tonight for the Eels side. They were lining up all over the park, and just tremendous work by all those players involved. You've got a lot of leg speed out wide, this Parramatta side. Lovely hands by Violecki. He senses the moment, he senses the opportunity. He had Butner in support. Butner looked as though he could have gone all the way. Brad Watts did a sensational job covering. Then he had to come back across the other side of the field. Brad Drew was there in support. They turned the bunnies inside and out, and Burt underneath the sticks. The try of the night.
That was terrific to watch, and as it unfolded, they joined in from all points of the compass. They knew something was brewing, and they all wanted to grab the 4-pointer. In the earner was Luke Burt, who can barely contain the grin on his face, who will try and convert his own try. They are trying everything now, counter-attacking from their own try line. Sorry night for that man. They have a lot to cheer about, in fact nothing to cheer about. And after giving up 50 points to the Tigers last week, the Rabbitohs have given up 54 here to the Eels. They haven't been held scoreless so far this season, but they're in danger of doing that with just under 3.5 minutes remaining here at Parramatta. This will be the biggest victory for the Eels over the Rabbitohs, by the way. Back in 1978 at Redfern Oval, it was the Eels who beat the Rabbitohs 50 points to 10 on that occasion. They've outstripped that by a few points here tonight. Robinson comes to Heckenberg. They are still looking for another try here. They've got the scent of the nostrils. Here's Drew putting the kick in behind McKinnon. He'll pick it up inside his own 20. They've got perhaps just a couple more sets of 6. The Rabbitohs to try and put something on. Here's Watts.
A lovely tackle there by Brad Drew. Got tremendous footwork, Brad Watts. He lined him up perfectly. Tremendous shot.
Back it up.
Brian Smith said in an article in The Australian today that one victory does not break a drought. You need sustained performance to get something going. And they will need to back this up next week against the Bulldogs, of course, as the Rabbitohs get a penalty. But after having lost a couple of players, potentially in Hodgson and also Irvine tonight, you have to think that this would certainly add something to their confidence going to that game next week.
No doubt about it. I think that they will be primed next week when they take on the Bulldogs, and of course the Bulldogs' confidence would have been knocked around a little bit today. The Parramatta, hopefully they will have Kalis Vella back next week to match the powerful Bulldogs forwards. What a crackerjack game it should be.
Sheehan, Craigie, turned back on the inside from Hart to McKinnon, and just a couple of metres away. Here's Hinson. Craigie Opens it on Deshoon, who has certainly tried his luck close to the line tonight. He's backed himself a number of occasions. Don't have much money left at the blackjack table, I can tell you. Here's Gross. Pulatua will pick it up and almost get to the line. Deep to Craigie. He'll put the kick in if they can get it down inside the dead ball line. Henson has scored. We'll have to go to the video, though, to find out if he has, in fact.
The ball in the dead ball line.
From this vantage point, I'm going to take a punt on a card myself and say he didn't get it down.
I think you're right, Warren. I think his right elbow has touched the ground before the ball. It looks as though he's got plenty of time to put the ball down there, but he really needed to catch it in his hands and place it down straight away, not take it on the chest.
Well, given the situation of the game, it's not really such a tough call for Phil Cooley either way. Not suggesting he's going to hand out points, but it doesn't mean much in the scheme of things if he comes up with a try for the Rabbitohs. He agrees with us, though, and says no try. That's the closest they've gone all evening to scoring. Henson within a couple of millimetres of getting it down.
Wait till I get set.
And the clock will count down to the final seconds here. They won't die wondering whether they could score another one. I'll put something on. Got 6 tackles in this final 30 seconds to do it. The ball comes loose here. And they'll pick up some cheap metres through a penalty. McFadden is super keen to get the kick away and get the ball back into play. We'll have a couple of tackles here to try and send the Parramatta fans home with one more try to talk about. Here's Butner. Comes away to Withers, who's playing out there in the centres at the moment. And Moody outside him. Here's Robinson going from dummy half. Doesn't realise the clock has ticked down to 0. And he used it as a front rower should end it by taking a hit up when the backs were screaming for it. But the Eels have beaten the Rabbitohs here. 54 points to 0, the final scoreline. It was a dominating affair after the first 15 minutes, which were fairly tight and even, it has to be said. But from that moment on, it was all the Eels.
This has been a Fox Sports production for the National Rugby League Partnership.